Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with sweet potato casserole with pistachio crust. That's right, we're doing our take on the classic Thanksgiving side dish, and unlike many sweet potato casseroles, this one is not too disgustingly sweet, okay? So we're going to start by peeling and cubing about 2.5 pounds of sweet potatoes. And I know what you're thinking, hey, those are yams. No, they're not. Anything you buy in an American grocery store is a sweet potato. Some of the orange fleshed varieties are just called yams for reasons I don't have time to go into here. Okay, so you know the drill. It doesn't matter how big you make your cubes as long as they're all basically the same size so they cook in about the same time. So you're the boss of your sweet potato cutting here. Actually, I should have said dictator. So we're going to throw those in a pot with some water and a big pinch of salt. We're going to put that on high heat and we're going to boil those until just tender. You're going to test with a knife or a skewer, and mine are perfect. I want you to drain those really well, and then we're going to transfer those back into the pot with a couple tablespoons of butter, and we're just going to mash those and reserve. Now, I would have showed you the entire mashing process, but my battery died. But that's okay. You could figure out the rest. Just go until they're all mashed and set them aside till needed. So the rest of the casserole ingredients are as follows: a couple large eggs, some maple syrup, a little bit of real vanilla extract, a pinch of cayenne, a dash of allspice, a pinch of salt, some buttermilk, and regular milk. And by the way, you can do this all with one or the other, but I do like the combination. The buttermilk gives it a little bit of tanginess, which of course works with all the sweet elements. And speaking of sweet elements, I really like the maple syrup here versus the traditional sugar or brown sugar. I just think it's a little more interesting and not quite as sweet. Okay, so once that's mixed, we're going to add our mashed sweet potatoes, but not all at once. I don't want to curdle the eggs. So put in a spoon, mix that in. That will what's called temper the eggs, which means raise the temperature up slowly. Then I put another big spoon, mix that in. Now the mixture is kind of hot. Then I can just dump everything in. Okay? So we're going to add all our mashed sweet potatoes to our egg milk mixture. And when it's mixed, we're going to transfer that into a lightly buttered casserole dish. All right, your standard, what is that, 2.5 quart casserole dish? All right, really doesn't matter as long as it fits and you have room for the topping, which is a perfect segue to the topping. So with apologies to all you mini marshmallow fans out there, we're going to use something a little different. We're going to use a pistachio crust, which is super simple to make. Take a handful of roasted, salted pistachios and chop them up. You're going to want about a half cup to 2/3 of a cup. And to that, we're going to add some brown sugar, light brown sugar, all-purpose flour, and melted butter. Okay, so take a spoon or a fork and mix that together. Make sure it's completely mixed. There's no such thing as over-mixing this, so don't believe the hype. Okay, once it's mixed, I just want you to crumble that evenly over the top. I like to use my fingers. It's just a little too thick and sticky to spread or spoon. Once it's crumbled over the top like that, I want you to take the back of a fork and just very gently press it down in. All right, just like that. That is ready for the oven, which is set at 350, and we're going to go ahead and bake that for about 25-30 minutes or so until the top is browned and the sweet potato is set. Now, if you want to cheat, like I did, you could turn on the broiler for like a minute at the end just to give that crust a little bit of extra caramelization, which I think works nicely. And there you go. Our sweet potato casserole with pistachio crust is done and looking magnificent. And of course, you know what's coming next. Let this rest a little while before you try to serve it, which of course I could not do. I had to tear into this. It was just smelling so amazing. I had to take a spoonful, and there it is. Those starchy, subtly sweet potatoes, accentuated with that maple syrup, that pistachio topping, just a wonderful combination of taste and textures. So you may have a traditional sweet potato casserole you make every year, and if you do, God bless you. Keep making it. But if you're looking for something a little bit different this year, maybe something a little more interesting, a little more creative, give this a try. People will love it, trust me. So head over to foodwishes.com for all the ingredient amounts as usual. And as always, enjoy.